Kate got the morphine. But what exactly does this testing involve? Could this have been what killed Kate? 11 o'clock. Just an hour left to solve this thing.
We'd better first run down the street, down here in front of the farm. You can really see the blue tint, the blue for night now. Ah, so James got something. And it's not in his little greenhouse, he keeps it up here.
So James is interested in poppy pods, is he? I think he's got some explaining to do.
I would not have been able to identify those on site. I'm glad they tell us what they are. We can go talk to him, but we don't have to right away, and we might not have to at all. We'll just see.
A few more questions, if you don't mind.
Odd question, but have you ever seen anyone handling dried poppy pods?
Poppy pods? As in for opium? No.
Like it when they say poppy
James
pods.
did have opium tea once, I think.
Where did he get it from?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask. James does his own thing.
What does opium tea taste like?
I don't know. I didn't try it.
Really?
I didn't want to risk it, did I? But I went to hospital once. I had codeine and I went into anaphylactic shock. The doctor said it was an opium derivative, apparently, so.
He's allergic to opiates, but he took morphine. And if you didn't know that morphine was an opiate, you might not get this one.
Aha.
You
I don't
and
remember if they
Kate
could tell
took
you.
morphine in the mirror room. That's what you said, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you're allergic to opiates, Simon. Opium. You didn't take the morphine at all, did you?
Well, no, I didn't. Kate did, though.
I thought you were trying to outdo each other. That was the point, wasn't it?
We weren't trying to outdo each other as such.
Go on.
Ryan wanted me to test Kate. To see how far she would go to be prime candidate.
What candidate?
Prime candidate. It means the best person in the group, basically.
What do you mean, test her?
But you do it in pairs. One person's the tester, it's me, and the other person's the...
Victim?
Well, it's not like that. It's completely consensual. It's just boundary testing. Ryan wanted me to test Kate.
Because they thought she was the best student.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I just did what I was told, okay?
Except you decided to give her morphine. To break the law.
Well, I can't change that now, can I? She didn't die of a morphine overdose, did she?
She died because she drowned. But she drowned for reasons that aren't clear.
Might have been the water in the lungs, not sure.
Atlas seemed to have this all neatly worked out. If Simon's telling the truth, Atlas are lighting the fuse and then retiring to a safe distance, letting students test themselves and push themselves to their limits while avoiding all comeback. Is this what happened to Kate? Thank you. Probably be back later.
So we're not going to bother talking to Emma. We might not need to, again, for the rest of the game. Not sure. But we do... I'm going to check here. Is it now? It's now. There we go.
Just keep pushing. Just keep pushing. Keep pushing. Keep pushing. You can push it all the way in, Tom, if you want to. Excellent, Tom.
Excuse me. Would someone care to tell me exactly what's going on here?
Don't come any closer.
That man needs a doctor.
No, he doesn't.
I don't need a doctor. I'm fine. Go away.
What is
Buddy
this?
Kyle.
A test.
Of what?
What does it look like? It's a threshold test. A pain threshold test. I thought, you were supposed to be good at working things out. Inspector Jenks.
And so this would be for Atlas, would it? Kyle?
You disappear now.
It's not a good idea to talk to a police inspector like that.
Do you want me to make you?
It's okay, Tom. Mr. Jenks won't be bothering us anymore.
Don't make any rash commitments. Well, well. You really should take more care of your things, Ryan. Is your keys, Kyle?
No.
So that's threshold testing, is it? Sticking a skewer through your hand? I could just ask Ryan or Paul directly about this, but I think I'll bide my time. See what I can do with this key fob first.
Well, I know one thing we can do with the key fob. We're gonna fob it up. Do some fobbing.
Bingo. Well, Ryan, what have you been up to? Be very interesting to see how he explains this one.
Yes, let's see how he explains this one.
Couple more questions, if that's okay.
Poppy pods.
Know anything about poppy pods? Come across anyone selling them or anything?
Poppy pods. Well, don't tell anyone, Inspector, but I hear that you can make opium out of those. Why do you ask?
Doesn't matter.
Don't care. Doesn't matter. It's not a thing.
Now, tell me what a prime candidate is.
You're learning a lot, aren't you, Inspector? Prime candidates are simply the best students.
Simply the best.
The ones with the most potential.
I don't
What
think.
benefits do they get from that?
Well, they get the top job.
Which is?
Well, we have a deal with various multinationals. We train students to be exceptional, truly exceptional. And they get a wonderful top job. It's a very simple deal.
And how do you decide who the prime candidate is? Do you test students?
No.
Did you ever, say, ask Simon to test Kate, for instance?
Oh, you've actually been speaking to Simon, haven't you? I really wouldn't trust anything that Simon Thompson says. You know, he spent the best part of 2 months trying to undermine Kate. No. Now, Simon Thompson, it really isn't my place to speculate, but if you're looking for motives, Inspector, he certainly had a few motives, more than I.
He's very more
A
guilty.
motive to kill her, do you mean?
Now, that's very interesting, Inspector. Well, that's up to you to decide.
Okay. Tell me about this.
Would you like to explain what this is, please, Ryan? £500 intended for Kate. It fell out of your car. At least I assume that's your car on the driveway at Brandon House.
I suppose so.
So why were you going to give Kate £500, Ryan?
It was just a little incentive, that's all. Just a little incentive.
Not very little, Ryan. £500.
It's very heavy.
She was a very good student. We heard that she was leaving. We wanted to give her something.
But you didn't.
Well, obviously not.
Are you sure there wasn't any other reason you might want to give her this? Personal reason?
No!
Well, I'd like to keep hold of
Angry.
this for a little while, if you don't mind.
Well, don't consider it a bribe, will you, Inspector?
But it's meant as an incentive, and it was here they tell us that they aren't coerced or bribed.
Aha. So, students aren't coerced or bribed in any way, except Kate.
I'm not sure what you mean.
You said you were going to give Kate the £500 as an incentive. That's coercion, isn't it?
I really don't think you could call it coercion, Inspector. It was an incentive, that's all, a little encouragement.
So, how often do you use incentives?
Okay, incentive is probably the wrong word. The money was just to see how Kate would respond. It was part of her assessment.
Assessment.
We have to assess students as they progress. We don't use conventional methods like sitting an exam or anything like that. People pay for this course per session. We have to know if they're committed or not.
So you're assessing their progress and testing their commitment.
Yes, we are. We have to. This is a business, not a charity.
So Ryan's claiming the money was part of Kate's assessment. And did this assessment also involve threshold testing, I wonder? Or was the money for something else?
So he just told us. Where'd it go? Gave the money to test Kate, but students aren't tested.
Aha. Well, which one is it, Ryan? Do you test students or not?
Well, some of them, yes.
Including Kate?
Yes.
Why was she being tested? Why?
She was being tested because we wanted to see if she was good enough to become prime candidate, okay?
So Kate was in the running to be prime candidate.
Yes!
And did you ask Simon to test her?
Yes, I did. But I didn't ask him to do anything stupid. He knew it was against course rules.
How far did you ask him to push her?
I didn't ask him to push her. I asked him to test her. There's a huge difference.
Really mad.
If Simon decided to give her too much caffeine or morphine or whatever, that's his responsibility. So if he did anything wrong, it was his own responsibility. He did it with his own mind and his own hand. We had nothing to do with it.
And that's the angry part of the game. It's very emotive.